I'm at Sullivan Park today, and I'm just going to spend some time doing some fishing. I have a little bit of time off in the middle of the day and thought I would do my favorite sport. Not sure what changed or caused it to change, but all of the weeds are gone. So not sure if that was something that was cleaned up, but I'm going to have to adapt to it and see what I can do to catch some fish. Looks like I can see the little bluegills here, so it means that different techniques can be used today. Well, they're chasing it, but they're not hitting it, so I would say that they're not very aggressive. I'm just looking for any of those bass that might be close to shore, but looks like it's just a lot of bluegills. Kind of cool watching them chase it. Oh, that's a bass. It's a little bass. I'm going to try reeling in faster and see if that gets a strike. Got a little guy. He's actually not too little. Nice little green sunfish. Nice start, but not what I'm looking for. There he is. Okay, go for there. Go. So good size. Water looks like it's maybe 2 or 3 feet visibility. I really wonder if the weeds were removed intentionally. There's that rock. Probably the only structure around outside of the shoreline. I saw something chase it. I think it was just a big bluegill that was very aggressive. I wonder if they're not as aggressive since they don't have their cover anymore. A lot of bluegills, and there's a lot of those little guys, which are probably also bluegills. Healthy population. Unfortunately, since I got here late, I suspect that most of the fish, the big fish, have moved deeper into deeper water. That's okay. Just need to figure out how to get them. Don't see any bluegills around here. Kind of strange considering there's all these little guys. I would think that the predator fish would be around where these bluegills are, where these little minnows are, but I don't see that. So I'm thinking that this little shallow flats is going to have more aggressive fish, because I doubt that fish are going to go into the shallows. Yep, there it is. They're just small. That's typical though. If a fish is going to be in these shallows, they're going to be wanting to eat. They're not going to put themselves in a dangerous spot. Looks like they're just sitting around this water flow, probably to get any bugs, because they're all facing into it. Yeah, that's pretty cool, all these fish chasing it. I knew he was going to get that one. He was the biggest. Didn't even set the hook, so this might just pop out. Nope. There's that little bump on their nose again. Anyhow, little green sunfish. Let him go. I don't see any other big ones in here, so I'll probably just let them go. But there are a lot of bugs that go there because it comes from this little artificial stream, or could be a real stream, that flows down here. So all the bugs are going to come out this way, or the dead ones. I can imagine that they may have just cleared these grass mats for the appearance of the pond. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, the pond is being used for multiple purposes. Oh, there's these bass again. They are not interested in this at all. They didn't even stop, hesitate. They just kind of broke up a little bit, but they don't care that food is presented right in front of them. Which means that they're either fat and happy already, or something shut them down. Bass typically will eat at night, not during the day, so what we're trying to do is trigger a strike. They do eat at all times, they're opportunistic, but it's easier for them to travel at night because it's cooler. And so looks like I'm gonna have to figure out some other way of triggering the strike today, because they are not aggressive. So I'm gonna try fishing the Bungee Jumper rig. It's essentially Texas rigged in the middle, so that I'm pulling from there, and there is a concrete nail. It's a 1-inch masonry nail that I stuck on the end. I'm not gonna spend tons of money on stuff that I can just simply get from the hardware store. The original term was a nailed worm, and it came because people literally use nails, so why are we using expensive stuff? You can see with that nail I can get it way out there, and the idea of this is, since it pulls from the middle, it shouldn't grab as much of the grass that might be on the bottom. Of course, I'm looking at the bottom and it looks kind of bald in certain areas. I may have too heavy of a nail, and I might need to get some finishing ones instead. A rough guess on the weight of this nail, it's probably about 1/10 of an ounce. I wish the water was a bit more clear so you could see what it looks like when it gets closer, but we'll see. Not sure if you could see it, but you could see it go straight into the grass, and then it lands with the nail side down. You get closer, you can see it pulls like that, and then it drops in. So I can throw it right into this grassy patch right here, and it should come out with little to no weeds. I don't know if that's how well that's showing up in the video, but I'm literally having it go into this hard grassy area. It grabbed a little bit and then it let it go. So that's what I'm using right now, and my hope is that I can get a bass to hit this. I think this style of rigging is called a whole bunch of different names, and they may be subtle variations of each other. I learned it a long time ago as a nailed wacky worm, and then I've heard that it's a NACO rig, I've heard bungee jumper rig. I think that what it's called isn't important, it's knowing how to use it, but main thing is I don't like to have to buy something based on the name. all I've got is a regular offset worm hook, 3/0, with the nail, and that's it. It's as simple as it gets. I am using a zoom trick worm, but I may switch to a finesse worm just to change the size profile and also the color. I was watching the bluegills close to shore as I was reeling it in, and I think that I'm pulling it too much. I think that I need to do short little hops, and just kind of like a shaky rig where you just kind of shake it. In this case, I can move it forward a little bit also, but instead of long pulls, just a whole bunch of short pulls to try to give it some action. Here's how I'm rigging this bungee jumper worm. I've got a looks like a 6-inch finesse zoom worm, and I look for the bottom of the worm. Here's the bottom, it's the flat side. So I go to the other side and I find the middle of the worm, and I just go straight vertically down. You can see my 3/0 worm hook, offset worm hook, is barbless. I broke it off. I just pull the hook all the way through and just leave that piece sticking out, and then I find where it goes in on the other side, and I push it through, and then I pull it back so that I can skin hook it underneath so that it's not catching anything there. And so that's the basic premise of it. I can fish it like that, like a Texas rigged wacky worm, but I'm nailing it. I'm just getting this 1-inch masonry nail, and I am just putting it through the nose of this worm. Some of these worms are going to be hard to push it through. The trick worm was actually quite easy for some reason. This one is a bit tougher. The only thing that I will warn you with regards to using nails, because I've had this experience before, is make sure that you keep it in a separate bag or take it out of your tackle box if it gets wet, because it will rust and you don't want that to happen. So there is the Bungee Jumper nailed wacky worm, Texas rig, whatever you want to call it, NACO rig. I think the NACO rig has the hook pointing the other direction. But that's what I'm using. You can see it drew the attention of all these bluegills. They just don't know how to eat something so big. They even bit it, that little guy. So it will get attention if you work it slowly. The bass are definitely not hunting. I think I came a little late, or there's changes in the pond, too many changes in the pond that they're not aggressive right now. I'm not trying to use that as an excuse. That's more of just analyzing the situation so I can figure out what to do. That would be an expensive fish at a pet store. Seems like they're shy of something big, so switching to something small. I'm using a trout magnet. Of course, the bluegills are crazy for it, but I'm hoping that I can get a bass on it too. Ah, little guy that came from the rocks. Wasn't trying to catch you. Oh, look at how dark that guy is. Hiding in the shadows and... Alright, there you go. Bye-bye. Okay, we're going to try the honeyworm. Definitely a slow day when bluegills won't hit it. So there's a big splash here, but not sure why. Of course, I'm just going to treat it like it's a big fish. May have left the shallows already though. Oh, it's the school of bass. Yes. There he is. So they wanted something small. This guy's pretty heavy for his size. There we go. We got about 10-inch bass, 9.5, 10 inches. Part of that little schooling group over there. So figured out what they're interested in, and it wasn't big. So, and there's the school again. So go catch it with your friends. I'm gonna go catch your friends. There he is. Got one in the shallows. Oh, there's a bass right there. So gotta make sure I drop this guy in here, not into the grate. Here you go. Unfortunately, I knew that I was going to get a bluegill, or a green sunfish, but that's okay. They're fun to catch. There he is. Whoa. Unfortunately, the bass are currently eating the same thing that the sunfish are eating. So I'm going to catch a bunch of sunfish first. Caught another guy. And let him go. That's great. Wasn't really trying to catch him anyhow, so I'd rather just do a fast release. Fun to catch, but not what I'm trying to target. I'm trying to find out if there's bigger bass in here and how to catch them. I'm just walking around the pond, not really casting as much, but looking for the school. And there's a little bluegill, or sunfish. Up in those shallows. There you go. I saw bass come out, but this guy ended up catching it. Still see the bass. It's over there. There they are. That's the school. Oh, that was a good one too. Not sure where they went now. Oh, there. Got him. And on this 2-pound ultralight, it feels really, really strong. But he's not. It's another 10-inch. There it is. Second largemouth bass from that school. Bye-bye. It's as if they come shallow just to look and then they go back deep. Found one bass that went up to it but didn't take it, which means to me they are hiding in these little sparse floating mats of algae. They swim up to it and then they just swim away. It's like they're not really hungry, they're almost just protecting something instead. There we go. Didn't even work hard on this one. I just gently reeled. This is a bluegill. Got the smaller mouth, don't have the stripes, no colors on the fins, so he's one of the few in here. Bye-bye. The sunfish are easier to catch just because they've got bigger mouths than the bluegills. But the bluegills, I think, fight a little harder because they're taller. It's kind of like saltwater fish. The taller they are, the flatter they are, the more fight they give because they just turn sideways. I see two bass that swam in this direction. Of course, there's a bunch of bluegills too, so I'm not sure which I'm going to get. There's another bass that's swimming up into this area. Another bass, so they're all coming from down that way. There's another one that's swimming away now. There. There we go. Got another bass. We got this one out of that rock over there, and there's others that are heading that way, so could be a good sign. Bye-bye. It's a real challenge fishing these community ponds, especially the ones where there's not a lot of fish. It really does. It really tests your patience and techniques of figuring out how to get them to bite. But that's the fun. Got this guide by accident. I was casting to a bass. It's a little green sunfish. There's a bass right up in there with these guys, but lazy. Lazy bass. Ah. What the heck? Well, putting a bobber way out far is not getting any strikes. I just think that this is a very slow day. Of course, it's those bluegills or the sunfish. And it only happens when I'm close up. There we go. That's a nice sunfish. Anything past 20-25 feet, nothing's biting. Well, it was a fun day. Caught a couple of bass. Wish I caught more than that, but still always good to be able to catch your target species when it's very challenging. If you're looking for a challenge, this is the place to go. I don't know if there's any big bass left in here, but as you can see with me playing right now, there are a number of bluegills all over the place. They're constantly spawning. So anyhow, if you like this video, like and subscribe, and feel free to leave me any comments interested in what you're wanting to see. I tried out this bungee jumper rig, and I'm convinced that it is a good way to try to target some bass in the grass at the bottom. However, you need to have some bass that are hungry to be able to make use of that. So just because I didn't catch anything on it doesn't mean that I won't try using it again. It just means that it's got to be the right time and place. Until next time, bye all.